there's a few of you who have asked me if I could put something online to help you through this quarantine period, as you can't come and see me. Here's a self-massage series that you can do. If you do it every day, it would be fantastic. I'd suggest doing it in the early morning with the rising energy. In Chinese philosophy, they believe that man is suspended between the heavens and the earth. The sky and the heaven represents our yang energy, and the earth is the yin energy. And everything in life, according to them, is this movement of energy, a continuous movement and circulation from yang to yin. And this happens all the time. If there's a blockage, then that's when ill health happens or problems arise. And in our body, we have a series of meridians that excuse me, that circulate the qi throughout our body and circulate the yin and yang energy throughout our body. On top of which, we can connect to the external energy, so we have access to the yang energy coming from higher up and the yin energy from lower down. I put that as a background because the massage process I'm going to show you is Tuina, and that it's really based, it's working on the meridian system largely. So it's working on moving the circulation of qi, but within that Chinese philosophy, qi and blood also are intertwined. So it's also working on your circulation system as well, and it will affect your lymphatic system. And it has the effect of balancing your spirit and your body together as well. So we start just by becoming present, and we can start with a few little bit of breath work. So feet at hip distance apart, shoulders relaxed, pelvis in a neutral position, and having this idea of being suspended up towards the sky. So you can close your eyes for a few minutes and just take a few deep natural breaths. Inhaling in and exhaling out through your nostrils. And place the tip of your tongue on the soft part of your palate, so it's slightly curled under. And we do that in Chinese breathwork because this is the point of connection of the Renmai and Dumai meridians, the governing and conception vessels, which have a circulation of energy throughout our body, and that creates a link point. Just with your eyes closed, becoming present of that inner stillness within you. And then you can gently open your eyes with a soft gaze. Make sure your knees are slightly softened, no tension through your shoulders. And we'll just start by rubbing our hands together. Start to create some friction and warmth through your hands, which will start to generate a movement of qi, a flow of qi. And then we start by brushing deep strokes down the palms of our hands. This starts to stimulate the circulation of energy. And in particular, we're working the yin channels here, and they come through from the ground up through to the points of our hands. So in an anatomical position in Chinese medicine, it would be this position rather than this position, which would be the Western anatomical position, because it's the flow of energy, yin energy, coming down from the ground up through to the tops of our hands, and likewise the yang energy coming down the posterior face of our body down into the ground. So back to rubbing our hands. Now we can start with some joint work. Creating movement through our articulations. It's very important to keep our joints mobile, particularly as we age, so that we don't end up with problems of rheumatism and arthritis through those joints. After you've done that for a little while, you clasp your wrists together and create some mobility through your wrists. It's very important to work our hands. Not only are they vital for our everyday life, there are 27 bones in the hands, 29 if you include the two tiny scaphoid, are they called scaphoid? Sesamoid bones. So if you imagine all the articulations throughout those little bones, it's important that we keep them mobile. After you've done this for a little while, back to generating that chi. Taking deep breaths in throughout this process. I'll be talking, so I can't really focus on it, but just focus on deep breathing as well. Deep abdominal breathing, ideally. And then with your fingers like this, create a bracelet around your wrists. This is fantastic for people with carpal tunnel syndrome. Anyone who does a lot of computer work using their hands, it's a good thing to do. And it's also warming up, creating movement through our meridians here. We've got 3 yin meridians, 3 yang meridians that pass through this area. And then again, rubbing your hands together. And now we're going to start to stimulate the flow of energy through the whole path of the meridians in our upper limbs, coming down and up. Down the yin meridians, up the yang. Down the yin, up the yang. You can do this maybe a series of 3 to 6 times. And after you've done that, we just grasp onto the muscle, lifting it off the bone all the way down. On the posterior side, trying to create as much circulation through those muscles, lifting the muscles off the bone so that if there are any adhesions in the fascia, you start to create some movement and awareness through that as well. And then we can finish off with a light fist, creating some tapping, stimulating all those points as well, and tapping if you like. The tapping you do with a slightly cupped hand. It's not a slapping, which would be with a flat hand. A little bit of rubbing before we go to the other side. And then again, down and up, down and up, down and up. Breathing in. And lifting. Again, that grasping. These are all techniques that you would experience if you went and had a tuina massage. Already I start to feel the benefits. I don't know about you. And then again, light fist. And then rubbing your hands. Now we're going to come onto the face and head region. So we'll start just by raking through with our fingertips through our scalp. This stimulates our gallbladder meridian that passes along there, and also the governing vessel, which passes through the middle line over our scalp. And again, back to rubbing our hands. Now we do some more specific work on our face. We can start with bladder 1 and 2, just massaging inside our eyes here, stimulating those points. And then with your knuckles like that, making a line over your eyebrow. Do that for a few wipes over your eyebrow, where there should be a little bit of pressure on it when you do it. Rubbing your hands together, loosening up your neck, because that might have created a bit of tension through your shoulders as you were working it. And start to stimulate the sides of your forehead. Into the triple three heater point there. Now you can just generally stimulate our whole face. We have a tendency to be a little bit focused in our head as we rule from our mind. So there tends to be a bit of a concentration of energy in the top part of our body, and we tend to be a little bit cut off from the rest of our body here in the West. So just creating circulation through this area will allow a movement and a flow, and you'll start to feel more integrated in the whole of your body. So massaging the eye points underneath your eye points, stomach points. Continuing the stomach meridian along your jawline, up the side of your face to the point up here, stomach 8, the angle of your forehead, just inside your hairline, 2-way, keeping your stomach meridian flowing will help with your digestion as well. Rubbing your hands again, shaking out your shoulders, making sure there's no tension through that. And then we'll rub our hands a bit and just do a bit of palming on your eyes. And just take a few deep breaths in. Now we're going to stimulate the points around our ears, so with your fingers like this on either side of your ear, do some vigorous rubbing. And once you've done that, you're going to grab your ear with the whole of your hand and really rotate it round one direction, then the other direction. Pull it out a bit. And a little bit more of that V rubbing. And warming your hands again. Then we're going to focus on the points just below our occipital ridge, which is basically the base of your skull. Got gallbladder 20 there. Let's just massage the points, and you can massage all the way along your occipital ridge. It's a point of many attachments, small little attachments that control the movement, muscles control the movement of your head, along with the major muscles like the trapezius, splenius capitis, sternocleidomastoid. So it's helpful just to massage into the attachment points there to release any tension that you might not be aware of. Do a few circles one way or the other, and then we can just massage using a clasping motion with our hands into our neck. And this is just fantastic for any of you who spend a lot of time in front of a screen. So we have this tendency to be bent down or sticking our head out, and this can just release some of the tension that's created there, so you can really get into the muscles and be quite vigorous. Again, rubbing your hands together, and we can do a bit of tapping with a loose fist through into your trapezius. Shaking your shoulders out a bit. We're now going to stimulate the points through top of our chest. So I do that with a little beaked thing, but you could also just do it with your fingertips, but it's a little bit more force if you do it with your beaked, your fingers coming together in a beak. One side and then the other. You can place a little bit of attention in this point here where we have the beginning of the lung meridian. Pretty important these days to keep our lungs healthy. And whilst you're doing that, take some deep breaths in. And the other one. And then we're going to stimulate the center of our sternum. We have Ramai 17. This is considered to be the sea of Qi, the point where it gathers. It's quite an important point in Chinese medicine, located in between our breasts. Rub your hands together and a few deep breaths in. And then we bring our hand up and we start to create a bit of stimulation through the sides of our ribs. Rubbing it through. Activating our spleen meridian as well. And then the other side. Rubbing our hands together again. maybe a few big deep breaths. With that sense of gathering the energy in through our hands, focusing your attention on your hands and bringing that energy towards our Tantien and our stomach. So massaging our stomach in a clockwise direction. So we harmonize the digestive process, following the natural movement of the flow of food going through. Our large intestine, although by that time it's not really food anymore. Rubbing our hands together, and then with a loose fist, going to just work into our kidneys at the back. Kidneys are considered a very important organ in Chinese medicine. They stock our Qing, which is the vital essence that we're born with in life. That's very important in the production of qi as well. Gives rise to our original qi, our yuan qi. Shake your shoulders out again, keeping loose. And then we're going to move down to our legs. I'm going to go back a bit. I hope you can still hear me, and if you can't, well, you just follow what I'm doing. So similarly to the arms, we're going to start by deep stroking movement. So we're going to start at the back of our waist, where our kidneys are, and stroke down the back of our legs and up the end medial portion. Down the back, up inside, down the back, up inside, down the back, up inside. Now you can do that same grasping of the muscles, down the back and up the medial side, the back, up the medial side, down the back and the medial side, and then we're going to finish with the tapping. Shake one leg out, shake the other leg out. Just do a little bit of shaking all the way through your body, having the movement coming from the heels, transmitting all the way up to the crown of your head. Arms loose, almost as if your arms are just kind of like they're hanging on a coat hanger, and they're completely suspended, free. Just receiving that gentle pulsation that comes through from the ground. You can almost imagine you've got a little tiny egg in between the space here, creating some openness. And as you do this, just take a few deep breaths in. Place a smile on your face. Focusing your minds to the base of your foot, in the middle, well, not quite in the middle, more towards your toes, where you have kidney 1, and that connects to the yin energy of the ground. You can almost visualize a flow of energy up through that point, through from the earth below, bringing it up all the way through your body, taking your mind's eye to the crown of your head and connecting to the sky above. Slowly reduce your movements, your oscillations, little by little, until you come to a complete stillness. And in that stillness, just observe your internal state. Place your awareness on your hands. Can you feel a difference in the circulation of energy from when we started? I certainly can. And if you can't today, if you do this practice every day for a week, I guarantee by the end of the week you will. So thank you. Keep safe. Hope you enjoy the practice. There's another video that focuses on your feet if you want to carry on with your feet as well.